Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God, back with you with the next video in my Line of God's Daily Diary series. As usual, before I discuss what I have achieved since yesterday's Daily Diary video, I want to go ahead and read you a chapter from the Bible. Today I will be reading starting off with Habakkuk chapter 1. The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save? Why dost thou shew me iniquity, and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth, for the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. Behold ye among the heathen, and regard, and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told you. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land, to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. They are terrible and dreadful, their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. Their horses are also swifter than the leopards, and are more fierce than the evening wolves, and their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far. They shall fly as the eagle that hasteth to eat. They shall come all for violence, their faces shall sup up as the east wind. And they shall gather the captivity as the sand, and they shall scoff at the kings, and the princes shall be a scorn unto them. They shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it. Then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing this his power unto his God. Art thou not from everlasting, O Lord my God, mine Holy One? We shall not die, O Lord. Thou hast ordained them for judgment, and, O mighty God, thou hast established them for correction. Thou art of purer eyes than to behold evil, and canst not look on iniquity. Wherefore lookest thou upon them that deal treacherously, and holdest thy tongue when the wicked devoureth the man that is more righteous than he? And makest men as the fishes of the sea, as the creeping things that have no ruler over them? They take up all of them with the angle, and they catch them in their net, and gather them in their drag. Therefore they rejoice and are glad. Therefore they sacrifice unto their net, and burn incense unto their drag, because by them their portion is fat, and their meat plenteous. Shall they therefore empty their net, and not spare continually to slay the nations? The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Before I started reading this verse, I was actually thinking to myself about the challenges in my life and the adversity that I face. And I was thinking that it's so important to remind myself that for whatever it seems like I achieve, for example, I lift weights to get bigger and stronger. I train MMA for my self-defense. I work a job as a software engineer to earn a living. I save and invest the money to build financial security. All those things are good. It's that not only should I, and I do, give the glory to God, it's to remember that the victory doesn't come from money. It doesn't come from strength of arms. It doesn't come from numbers. It comes from God. And what I think is so beautiful about chapter 1 of Habakkuk is that it here the verse here, Habakkuk 1, 2 and 3. O Lord, how long shall I cry? This is Habakkuk speaking. O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Why dost thou shew me iniquity, and cause me to behold grievance. For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. So the idea is that Habakkuk is experiencing violence, he's experiencing adversity, he may be experiencing persecution. The word here literally says violence in the KJV translation, and it's very powerful because it speaks to the fact that he's clearly going through something in his life that is difficult. And that is what I find remarkable about Habakkuk, is the fact that he is turning to God. And that is the correct answer. That is the correct answer, because all the way from Genesis, when Eve is deceived and Adam knowing that he'll die, still eats from the tree and disobeys God. All the way from then, the history of the Bible, one of the common themes of the men is their disobedience with God. Not everyone, but a seriously common theme. If we think about even just in Genesis, we're already looking at Adam disobeys God, Cain disobeys God. Before the flood, the men are the world is filled with violence. Who else disobeys God? Eventually, Esau disobeys God. Or not necessarily. I don't know if it's not as explicit as with Adam, but Esau does go away from the Israelite tribe, right? So there's a lot of disobedience to what God says, all the way from Genesis, and this is a theme that is inbuilt in the DNA, not the DNA literally, but in mankind, is that this feeling that they can and should think that out of their own strength, their own numbers, their own human power. And don't get it twisted, it is human power. Remember the scripture that Jesus says. He says, what king would not what king would not look at his army and say, he has 10,000, the other has 20,000, and send an emissary for peace? So Jesus is well aware, obviously, God is well aware that there is a thing as human power. The idea is that God always wants you to count on his power, his wisdom, his greatness, because not only is his level, God, Jehovah always says in the Bible, says, I have a higher level of understanding. Not only does he have a higher level of understanding with no ego, etc., 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 it's that he knows that when he empowers someone like me, when he empowers someone like Jesus, and he gives something good to me, he knows that not only will I give the glory to him, of course, that's expected, that I will serve him perfectly. And what that means is that instead of life going like a squiggly line where for the world of men and inheriting original sin and committing sin and living in sin, they live this squiggly line. That's a theme I will be talking to my children, as men living this squiggly line. Sometimes it goes up, but sometimes it goes down, then it goes up, then it goes down. But with the Spirit, it's just always going up. And it's not going up like a line graph, it's going up like an exponential curve. Because that's what God is doing for me. And because I serve him perfectly, he trusts me. He trusts me. You see? And this is a very important theme I can't emphasize enough. When Habakkuk says this, say, God, please deliver me. Please help me, God. Not please help me, man. Remember what the Bible says, that vain is the help of man. What David is saying, I believe it says in the Psalms of David, when David says that, he says, and I could be wrong about that, when he says that, he says, vain is the help of man. I believe that, of course, is in the Bible. He's saying that everything that men do amounts to nothing. Why? Because of that theme of the squiggly I just talked about, where when things go well, good, and then what happened? Solomon has 700 wives and 300 concubines, it goes down. Then things go well, then what happens? God delivers Hezekiah victory. This is historically in the Bible. Then Hezekiah gets a victory. Then what happens? Hezekiah, after God delivers the victory, he praises the mammon. He flaunts the mammon to the Babylonians. He tells them how he has money after God delivers him victory against such difficult odds. And it goes down again. So instead of this squiggly, when you serve him perfectly, it looks like this. Why? Because not only are you perfect, you are relying, this is a rare thing, so I won't say you. Not only is that person like Jesus perfect, he's relying on God's power. And there are so many examples of that, and That's why I think Habakkuk is so wise here, because he is asking for God's help. So that's what's so beautiful. So that, I'll go ahead and end the Bible reading there for today and transition over to what I have achieved since yesterday's Daily Dive video. Since yesterday's Daily Dive video, I worked at my chest, I worked at my legs, I created, uploaded, and scheduled today's Daily Dive video for 6/8/24 and was scheduled. And with no further achievement since yesterday's Daily Dive video, I want to go ahead and say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. Light be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.